Let's move now to Ukraine, where over the weekend an explosion on the vital Crimean bridge, that's a road and rail bridge linking Crimea, which was illegally annexed by Russia in 2014, and the mainland Russian region, marked one of the most significant developments in the war to date. Now, strategically, this is a crucial blow against Russia, and symbolically, its importance can't be overstated. 19-kilometre bridge, a technical marvel, opened by Putin back in 2018, was symbolic of his dream of bringing Crimea into Russia. Now, it's gone, the bridge, but has it turned the war? Joining me now, Director of Strategic Insights Australia, formerly as someone you know well from the Australian Strategic Policy Institute, or ASPI, Michael Shoebridge. He comes to us now from Canberra. Help us understand, Michael, this bridge, this Crimean bridge, who did it, do we know, and just how big a blow is it in the war?
Well, Peter, it's a very big blow in the war. The Ukrainians haven't taken official responsibility, but it certainly looks like the Ukrainian security forces. So as a truck bomb detonated beside a train carrying fuel, massive explosion. President Lukashenko from Belarus gave Putin a big red tractor on his birthday. The Ukrainians have given him a big red fireball instead.
Putin's labelled it very quickly an act of terrorism. Is that because he doesn't want to call it out as a Ukrainian win? Because if he does, he's going to escalate things in the next few days. I mean, how's he positioning this internally?
I think he's having a hard time managing the failure of the war domestically. So saying that this is a low blow, this is a terrorist act is what he's trying to do. That's hard, though, because right at the same time he's inflicting further mass civilian deaths on Ukrainians, including people in the parts of Ukraine that he says are now Russian. So firing missiles in and killing civilians looks like terrorism to me. But Putin is trying to say this is a low blow.
And where are we with the nuclear risk? We heard Biden talk about catastrophic consequences. We had the German Chancellor saying reprehensible, these nuclear threats. Where are we up to tonight after the events of the weekend?
Well, Putin's war continues to flounder and he's finding it that hard to cover up domestically now. In fact, the generals are being criticised, and when the public criticises generals, it gets close to criticising Putin himself. If he were to use nuclear weapons now, though, it'd be an act of failure and desperation. I think every world leader needs to remind him there's no such thing as a tactical nuclear weapon. That's a massive threshold.
All right, come back to Canberra. We saw that announcement in relation to the defence review, the budget review today by Richard Marles. He's gone through quite a long list of issues inside the department, predominantly related to the money, the budget, and procurement. $7 billion over budget, a cumulative 97 years behind schedule. I mean, I used to work for the Defence Minister of the Howard years. This doesn't surprise me, but it's catastrophic failure given today is a lot more serious in a global sense than it was when I was there 18 or so years ago. What's your take out of this report? That's the first thing. And this blame game with Labor today against the coalition. I mean, the coalition inherited a budget that had money stripped out of it. I remember the intelligence change as well, but also very little ordered under the former government. So there's fault on both sides, isn't there?
Yes, we've got to remember since 2016, the previous government delivered year-on-year real growth. They gave Defence the growing budget it said it wanted, and the current government has committed to that same growth. So it's $48 billion now, up from $34 billion back in 2016, on track to $70 billion. The big failure here is Defence's failure to deliver. It's got the money, but it's wasting time, and time is the scarcest resource. So incremental change and more reports to ministers, which is what the government's announced, not going to change a thing. We know that. It needs a new approach to rapid capability acquisition, and that means taking it out of the hands of the big defence machine.
You're not wrong. And let's not forget, I mean, that was the real statistic, lowest ever defence spending since 19 38, which brought about that change about the commitment of spending in the budget from 2016.
Yeah, and that real growth has been delivered year on year, but defence is not making us safer with that extra money. It needs to deliver fast, and incremental change won't do that.
Michael Shoebridge, thank you as always.